Greetings, duelists, and welcome to Deck Report. This is Season 6, Week number 2, and if you're looking at this video, Doom of Dimensions is now actually legal for the TCG. What does this mean? It means that a few of the older strategies from Justice Hunters are now being buffed. We also have new rogue themes like Doom Z and Radiant Typhoon. And I would say one of the biggest winners of this set was Yummy. I would say a few other rogue strategies are not that bad as well. Exo Sister is one that we haven't talked about in this channel, and they also got buffed. I will make a profile of that in the future. Just to mention one or two other themes. So what I have to do today is my Dracotail deck. I went with something really basic today. The main reason I did this is because I wanted to experiment and see if the non-engine choices in this deck were correct, and to see if what made a lot of people top this past week on regionals and on locals were very justified. I am not a big fan of the standard Dracotail deck. I really don't like the super heavy hand trap approach. However, I would be called like a very callous person and a hater if I didn't at least try it once. And yeah, I'll get straight to the list and then I'll talk about how the report went. So, 3 Lucius, 3 Femina, 3 Malulu, 2 Pans, 1 Urgula. That's it for the Dracotails. You'll notice there's no Frixel. I'll talk about that. We went with the K9 suite, so 3 Izuna, 1 Lupus, and right after that we have a bunch of other hand traps. We got Ash Blossoms, we got Ghost Bells, we got Fualas, we got Veilers, we got Trolls, we got Nibirus, and we got Magnamort. I think that's 18 hand traps, I could be wrong. I think there's 17 plus the K9, so technically 21. Now for the rest of the cards, we got 3 K2, 3 Rahu, Horn, and Flame. So that's it for the main deck. It's 41 cards. Very cookie standard K9 Dracotail list. If you're wondering where is Sting, it's here in the side deck. So I guess we can show the side deck real quick. Druisworm, Baldrake, 3 Phantasme, and I think that's it for hand traps. 2 Thrusts, 1 Talent, 1 Duster, Sting, Barrier, Skill Drain, 2 Sullen Warnings, and there can be only 1. So I guess I'll start. Why did I not main Sting? So the reason for not maining Sting is because I feel like this version of the deck is very, very bricky. Like, it doesn't really have a lot of starters. Like, Dracotail is not a one-card combo deck, so you need multiple cards for the deck to function. And the only functionable cards that do something when you're going first are Rahu, K2, and Lucius, and Malulu. Malulu and Lucius. Out of these 12, the one that is the least weak to hand traps is Malulu. Every single other one is a kind of weak. Like, this can get hit by Ash Blossom and Dominus Impulse. This can be hit with Impulse, Ash, and Purge. These can be hit with Imperm, Veiler, like like Ash, Purge. So, like, if any of these cards get stopped, you're not playing the game unless you draw like a different combination of them. That leaves Malulu as the best card like to start with, and that's only 3 cards. So by playing Sting in your main deck alongside the 2 other traps, you're essentially opening yourself to just opening more bricks. I did open Dracotail Flame and Horn a decent amount. I think I opened Dracotail Flame like 3 or 4 times yesterday. So that's not really favorable for me. So I would actually keep this in the side deck. You can make the argument of moving Horn to the side and having Sting in the main, but it really is just matchup dependent. I think Dracotail Flame is way too important to cut from the main deck. I think Dracotail Flame is like the best one. So I would keep Dracotail Flame. So that's it for Sting. I did not play Frixel because Frixel is not a real starter. Frixel is unlike any of these other 12. She is just another name, and the contributions that Frixel add to this deck, outside of just being another name, are very minimalistic. I think in a version where you play like Branded or Shaddoll, Frixel is much more useful. Builds that use Granguignol alongside Blazing Cartesia, she's also useful because she's a light attribute monster that can start your Dracotail cards. Yeah, overall, I think Sting is like the better card, which is ironic because it's a common. But for now, I'm fine with it being on the side deck. I will admit I did overcompensate with the going first cards, but the main reason for that is because Dracotail doesn't have a really high ceiling. Like, if you get paired up against like Lunalight, for example, and they resolve a heavy polymerization on you, or you face against like the Sky Striker deck and they overwhelm you with the spell cards, or you face against Mitsurugi and they resolve Murakumo on you, like you're not winning that game to like on a secure fashion because your defensive cards are just not that strong. That's why a lot of people opt for playing a lot of hand traps to just make sure that the ceiling of the decks that are facing against Dracotail are significantly lowered. But I don't think that's the real solution for Dracotail. Although I guess we can arrive to the consensus of Dracotails not having like a perfect solution as of yet. All right, so will I keep playing all these traps in the main? Maybe I will. Like I really do need a little bit more testing. I'm not completely satisfied with my side deck when it comes to like that part of the deck. Well, the part I am convinced is the Phantasme and the extra Bestials. So yesterday I faced against 3 Yummies in a row. One of them was a hybrid variant with Snake Eyes, but I digress. By facing that many Yummies, I felt like you kinda really need to overcompensate for the matchup. It's true that our matchup against Yummy is already good. However, we do already have dead cards against them. Like, the K9 package doesn't do a lot, and they're not gonna walk into this with Marshmallow. I can tell you this right now. By the time they walk into that with Marshmallow, that engine is not gonna be usable. Like, they will probably have enough ways to deal with the engine as a whole. Like, you can make the argument that those K9 cards could have been these, and it would have been a lot better. But yeah, I think Phantasma is a staple in your side deck. I think this card is really, really important right now. It's just a really secure card against a lot of decks. The Bestials are like strictly optional, but I figured with Lunalight, Sky Striker, and Yumi being popular in this format, as well as Mitsurugi, these cards are just very warranted in your side. You can even make the argument of even maining them, especially if you're playing against like the branded version of the mirror match as well. This hitting like the floodgate monsters from Sanctifier is really good. These hitting like the branded fusion monsters before they trigger in the end phase. Uh, yeah, like I really think bestials are really hot right now, and they should be considered in a lot of decks. So I don't regret that choice. As per the spell cards, like I feel thrust is also kind of mandatory this format. They're like your opponent is just going to walk into this card a lot, especially if they're playing K9 variants, they're playing Dracotail variants, they're playing if Vanquish Soul is still around, because I have seen some Vanquish Soul still being played to some degree. Yeah. And just remember, this can set Dimensional Barrier, and Dimensional Barrier is pretty much one of the strongest cards right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends on the Forbidden Limited list in the future. Just because of how polarizing the card is at the moment in compared to like past formats. So yeah, Duster's Duster. The Lightning Storm came back to 3. You can make the argument for playing Lightning Storm. You can also make the argument for playing more breakers against like the Herald. But yeah, for now this is what I went with, and I don't dislike it. So that's it for side. Let's go with the extra. So 2 Arthalions, 2 Gulamel, 1 Secretarian Dragon, 1 Mysterion, 1 Philia Regis, Cross Sheep, Spirit, SB, Seals, Valon. This could be any chaos number between 101 and 104. Nash Knight, and Ripper. So this is what I went with. Did I summon any of the K9 XYZs or any of the XYZ with the K9 cards? Absolutely not. I think I only summoned Nash Knight once, and I think maybe Ripper, because my opponent ashed me and I just happened to have the Izuna at the moment. But outside of that, these did not do well. I don't think K9 is viable as a hybrid for Dracotail unless that you really know what's in the room. Like, it could be just me being presumptuous and just be facing against Yummy all day. But yeah, you'll notice that I'm not playing the third Arthalion. In my testing, you should play the third Arthalion, by the way. I just didn't have it at the time. But I was perfectly fine playing 2. Especially if I'm playing like hybrids, but again, don't take my victory verbatim. Just play the third one if you have it. The second Gulamel never came up for me, so this will definitely be definitely can be cut. This can definitely be just a one of. It really just depends on your line of testing. If you haven't tested Dracotail enough and you're still on training wheels, then yeah, you should play the second Gulamel. So let's talk about Spirit and Herald. I almost never made Spirit. I almost never were in a situation where I could summon like this without a Bestial. SP is SP. I don't have to explain that one. I did summon Cross Sheep a fair amount of times. This did come out. This came up for me against one of my Jummy matches. So it's hard to say whether or not I justify this card. If you've been on this channel, you know that I'm more like favored for the fusion heavy build. But for now, I think this is fine. I already discussed the K9s. Philia Regis, never summoned it. Mysterion, I summoned it once against the Snake Eye version of Yummy, just to clear the Snake Eye board. Like my opponent activated Poplar from the hand, I chained 5 mana to fuse into this, and this just got rid of the Poplar and the Snake Eye Ash, so it was pretty helpful. I summoned Secretarian with Dragon once and was to OTK. But this should be mandatory in your side deck, in your extra deck. Alright, so what are my final consensus on this? So I don't. Like I said earlier. I really don't like this version of the deck. I really do think the ceiling is just a little bit too low. You do brick a fair amount of times, and as good as having a lot of non-engine is, I don't think we're in a format where like all of these non-engine cards are going to be super effective at multiples. The most I will say something about Ghostbell though. I think Ghostbell is incredibly potent this format. I think Ghostbell is better this format than on past formats. I do have to admit the Ash is also on the favorable side this format as well. But for the rest of these hand traps that you're seeing right here, like those, all of these are at the bottom. Outside of maybe Nibiru and maybe Magnamut, I really didn't like them that much. So yeah, I'll keep experimenting with Dracotail. I'll see what other variants I can come up with deck to play for other like deck reports. I do have two tournaments this weekend that I am attending, so we'll see how it goes from there. Uh, there's still more viable options. There's still a lot of ways to innovate this deck. I did pick up the Evaporation Dragon engine. I also have the Shadow engine as well. I can also get access to the branded engine. So there are different variations of the deck that I'm willing to test out. But for now, this has been like the cookie cutter one. And I hope you enjoyed this deck report. I hope you found something to your liking, understanding. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe. I know I haven't been saying that at all, but you know, my videos have been very fairly well received as of late, and I'm kind of thankful for that. My audio quality is not the best. I am going to fix it. I do promise that to for all of you. But for now, keep practicing and keep doing.